Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Krashy, and today we're going to be a React Andy. Now, big shout outs to our boy Zoinks. I see him retweeting something that I have yet to see, and this tweet was actually 16 minutes ago from Action Esports, and it says Pokemon Unite is a title with a lot of esports potential after having a dedicated competitive community take root, developer support, and even a $1 million tournament on the horizon. Now, Action Esports is like a news outlet, storytelling, gaming community, and I'm going to just go on record and say that I've seen some of the videos and stuff they put out about games that I've played, or even Pokemon Unite in the past, and don't always care for the way they present things. I don't think it's meant to be malicious or anything, but sometimes it just feels like it doesn't quite hit on the nose for me. Mainly the last thing I can think of is whenever they were calling Pokemon Unite pay to win and stuff. So I wasn't a fan of that video, but I figured I would do a reaction to this video. So let's take a look at it. This game has insane esports potential. Pokemon Unite by Action Esports. All right.
Hey, how's it going? You're right. It hasn't been very long since we first covered Pokemon Unite on this channel. But since the last video, a lot has happened for the game and its competitive scene. From Twitch Rivals appearances to receiving an official spot in the Pokemon World Championship Series, Pokemon Unite has shown that it's an esports ready game that still has a lot of room to grow. So how did the game's competitive scene develop so much in the initial months of the game's release? Well, let's find out.
Okay, I'm excited to see their take on this.
Before we start today's video, if you like our content and want to see more stuff like Pokemon Unite, we'd really appreciate if you subscribe and hit the bell to stay up to date. It helps us out, plus you get to see all the cool stuff we're working on.
Okay, all right, we'll consider
Let's
it.
get back to the video.
Good
To
little
recap,
plug.
for people who might have missed the first video, Pokemon Unite is a MOBA developed by TIMI Studio Group for the Nintendo Switch and all mobile devices. The game originally released on July 21st, 2021, and on mobile devices on September 22nd. Basically, matches consist of two teams of 5 players competing against each other in 10-minute-long matches as they try to earn points by defeating the wild Pokemon around the map and scoring them into one of the enemy's control points. Overall, the game is short, but is fast-paced and pretty fun.
Yeah, so I think if you come in with a neutral palette with no expectations, I think Pokemon Unite is amazing. 10-minute games are incredibly digestible. The action happens
I completely agree with that.
Not,
it's one of the best things about the game.
Farming phases or anything like that. The complexity of what happens is, hey, there's objectives that populate X amount of time. It kind of naturally leads you through the game. So from a fresh to MOBAs, no previous experience
hard to master.
I think Pokemon Unite is incredibly digestible. It's a lot of fun, and the action is kind of rip-roaring. Of course, because it's a 10-minute game, you do have some blowouts where it's like, okay, but at least you're not on the hook for more than 10 minutes when that's happening.
Before the end of 2021, it was announced that the game had already been downloaded over 50 million times. And it was clear that the game wasn't going to slow down anytime soon. A lot of the game's popularity is thanks in part to the strong Pokemon IP, and that the Pokemon community supports pretty much everything that gets released. Streaming the game, showing it off on YouTube, and writing all sorts of fan fiction means that Pokemon basically gets free press anytime they release a title.
Pokemon Unite was truly something unique for the Pokemon community to watch, something new. I think that we benefited a lot from the viewership and also the kindness of the Pokemon community. Everyone involved with the TCG and VGC that I've personally interacted with have been extremely welcoming. And
Agreed, yeah. Pokemon community is...
You'd be even maybe shocked to learn that the bigger the people were, kind of the nicer they were.
A little too nice
support from Wolfie. We had support from Pokeaim. We had support for, I mean, it just, like, I know all the TCG players were playing, like Azul's group. I talk to Raul all the time. Pretty much all these competitive Pokemon people, but nobody really tried to do harm. And for a lot of people, they tried to help. That was just a massive benefit, the welcoming community. Along
with the support of the Pokemon community itself, Pokemon Unite was able to attract players from other MOBAs, much like Valorant did with FPS gamers. One community that saw quite a bit of its former player base move over to Pokemon Unite was Blizzard's Heroes of the Storm.
Okay, so I want to pause here and just do my reaction Andy thing. Big agree with this point, because Heroes of the Storm in a lot of ways is really similar to Unite. It's a much less like hardcore MOBA, although it's very serious still. You don't build items, you pick a character and you select like talents. Some of the ways that even like the mechanics and things work are really similar. So Heroes of the Storm had like a real natural cross-pollination, and when we did see a lot of Heroes of the Storm player, a lot of the GG guys, hell, myself, Chris Heroes, probably a lot more. Maybe you play people that I don't know and different regions, but a ton of Heroes of the Storm players, because the games are very, very similar in a certain kind of way.
Considering that it had been nearly 3 years since the port for the game ended, it's easy to see why so many transitioned to Pokemon Unite. As a result, a grassroots competitive scene quickly formed and has been growing ever since.
Well, the grassroots scene for Pokemon Unite was something unlike anything I've seen for the games I've played recently. Like, we had $500 tournaments, $1,000 tournaments every weekend.
Yeah, that was pretty wild.
So like
early on,
we also had Shiny League, which A-Drive put on. It was really nice to kind of support the game, and that went until we got the official announcement. We had like this small circuit style tournament that led into a $10,000 finals. That was a lot of fun.
With the immense success of the game's grassroots scene, and events like Twitch Rivals bringing more eyes to the title as the months have gone on, the desire for an official Pokemon Unite competitive scene was palpable.
It was
many
always
in the community were expecting something from the Pokemon company themselves.
I kind of, in the back of my mind, I think I always believed that would happen.
It was always coming,
but I think
right?
we both,
the game
know
is developed
how strong
for competitive.
The intellectual property of Pokemon is. So from a casting point of view, I definitely saw it as worst case scenario. There's going to at least be a robust competitive scene on the grassroots level.
Yeah,
and
that was worst case
enough
scenario
for me to kind of throw myself 100% into it. Of course, with the announcement of it being included in Worlds and then this championship series, subsequently announced, of course, the volume has been turned up to 11 and everybody has kind of started to focus there. And it's growing week by week and month by month. And you see that in the number of teams that sign up for those qualifiers that happen in the middle of the month.
I want to find a break
but
here.
The competitive scene itself is getting slowly more robust as we.
So, and this is what I say about Pokemon Unite all the time. With all the game's woes and issues, the number one thing that Unite does right, completely right, and I have like almost little to no complaints, which I'm sure there are a few, is the competitive scene, the 5 stacking scene, the playing the game as a full team. The game does that right. The Pokemon Unite Championship Series is amazing. There's these big events. They put on these productions. Everything that makes this game competitive and makes it the esports side of Pokemon Unite is amazing. It's really, really good. It's so fun to watch. We get these big broadcasts. We get these big personalities, these crazy teams, crazy series. It's hands down the best reason to pay attention to Pokemon Unite at all, entirely.
We see more teams signing up.
Actually, we're getting a little bit worried about how long it took. We don't think it didn't feel early for us. Probably because when you're playing the game every day and checking for news, it becomes like this exhausting, like kind of long process where, if you're watching from the outside, it can feel quick. But from the inside, I promise it didn't feel quick.
Yeah.
It felt nerve-wracking.
We were worried that
for the
it
first
wasn't
year
gonna
of
happen.
Pokemon Unite's inclusion in the Pokemon World Championship Series, the Pokemon Company went all in with a prize pool of $1 million, half of which was up for grabs at the World Championship itself, and the other half being invested in monthly regional tournaments.
Okay, so I'm going to pause on the all-in on $1 million. I know that headline-wise, $1 million sounds like a lot, but for like a global circuit that requires months of work leading to a global finals where only 16 teams can get there, $1 million is actually really, 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 really small. Not to sound ungrateful, I'm not playing for the money, so it doesn't matter. I'm not competing on a team. Not to sound ungrateful, because I'm happy that it's happening, but I just don't want it to sound over sensationalized, because $1 million is not that much. I think the team that walks away with first place gets like 20,000 per player. And that's before taxes and things like that. It's a pretty small amount of money, but it's a really good start, and maybe they can continue to up that prize pool over time. Maybe they could do crowdfunding sources. A really cool thing that happens in other esports is they can do some kind of like package or purchasable items or drop, and they do like a revenue split or fully put the revenue earned from that thing. Like they could do a bundle. It could be like a few holoware and maybe some stickers, and it could be like Unite Championship Series 2, right? For the second year, they could sell that bundle and 100% of the proceeds could go straight into the prize pool. Crowdfunding is a huge way of adding to esports prize pools and making a scene stronger, more legitimate, making the community feel involved, and then giving back to the players for purchasing that item. So I do think that they, saying they went all in with $1 million prize pool is a little, it just sounds over sensationalized and headliney. It's very journalistic to do something like that. Just wanted to give my thoughts on that.
The massive support for the scene meant that many players started investing lots of time into
That is
qualifying
very
for
true.
the World Championship.
Very, very true.
For
Full-time.
example, Sota Okada, better known as Zachary, is one
yeah.
of the best Smash Ultimate players in Japan, and he announced that he was going to take a break from competing in Smash
I think
to
that's
focus
so
on
crazy
qualifying
and
for the
cool.
Pokemon World Championship. Clearly, money talks.
Thank you.
Along with the financial investment into the prize pool,
I still feel like he was probably making more money in Smash. I don't really know how much money is made in Smash, but if you're a sponsored Smash player and you're doing well in all these tournaments, you probably are making more money. But who knows? I don't know. I could be wrong.
the Pokemon Company wanted to make sure the entire tournament circuit was done correctly, and entrusted a third-party company
Esports
to help
Engine.
run the events.
Yeah.
I think it was incredibly humble of them and wise to go with Esports Engine rather than kind of doing it in-house. And I mean, I appreciate that decision retroactively. Like, we're benefiting so much from having professional tournament admin that's worked in
So for anybody that doesn't know, the history of Esports Engine is that and I'm not sure if they're running. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't know if Esports Engine is running the entire competitive Pokemon Unite series or just like the English, like NAEU scene. They might have companies that are running the other ones, because I think that Japan uses a specific company for a lot of their tournaments. So I can't really speak on that. But Esports Engine, I know for sure, is running like at least EU, NA and stuff like that, like English broadcasts and things. Esports Engine is like a production company and a tournament company, kind of like a one-size-fits-all solution for running big tournaments like this. One of the founder, I believe, is Adam Apicelli. I could probably look him up on Apicella or Apayella. I'm not sure how to say it. And he is the co-founder of Esports Engine, and he's one of the founding employees of MLG. So if you ever heard of Major League Gaming, old school esports, game battles, things like that, Adam is one of the co-founders and founders of that organization, which eventually was owned by Activision Blizzard, if I remember correctly, and so no longer has like its rights to be a platform like it used to be. But Esports Engine is kind of the brainchild of MLG, and so a lot of people probably don't know that, but it is very reputable, very experienced esports professionals that run tournaments, that run broadcasts, that are working on Pokemon Unite, at least in some form or fashion, which is really good work, amazing work.
esports before, so the guys at Esports Engine have been like really receptive to our feedback.
Yeah.
With all the support from the Pokemon Company and a grassroots scene that continues to thrive, with recent tournaments like the G4 Boosted Invitational, it seems that Pokemon Unite as an esport will be here for a while. While some of the
This is some
initial
really
excitement
good
for the
press.
game has died down a bit, those who remained are dedicated to the Pokemon MOBA. Plus, they see a lot of potential for the game to grow
Potential
and
is the
continue
name
to
of the
get
game.
better.
Unfortunately, the game's not out in China. So there's two
That's
ways
true.
to look at that. We have a bad thing, we're missing all the Chinese players, and then we have the secondary kind of idea that we have a second wind coming when the game releases in China.
Sure.
There's no doubt that when Tencent is allowed to, they'll release Pokemon Unite in China. Just financially, it's common
Makes
sense.
yeah, I
All the
completely
content's
agree
already
with
done,
Goof here.
right? So why wouldn't you? As soon as they get approval, the game will be out in China, and they'll have a new set of people to play against at Worlds, and it will be fun. So we have that second wind coming in that form.
With such a large
I
and
completely agree with
untapped
that.
audience, Pokemon Unite's present and future both look pretty bright. While there is some room for improvement, it's unlikely that the game is going to die anytime soon.
I mean,
Agreed.
some people are just turned off by Pokemon because of the IP and, they think it's, kiddie stuff or whatever. But the games are incredibly complicated.
Ooh, old
When you
school
start
footage.
listening to these teams while they're scrimming on Twitch and broadcasting their scrims and stuff, you can see all the different moving pieces and what they're considering, what they're going in, how they're doing. And you'll find that the complexity is far deeper than maybe what it seems like on the surface. And
Yep.
I think it's
Great
again, a good
representation from
digestible
Goof
amount of
and
time, a
Dupe
10-minute
Snacks
game,
here.
for people to get some good excitement without having to get too far into the weeds in it. And I think that's one of the strongest things that Pokemon Unite has going for it. So again, obviously, as you know, I'm a believer. I will keep doing so, and hopefully you'll keep hearing me as you're tuning in throughout the months to come.
All right, so a little bit to digest here. I agree. I think the main thing to say is that the game is not going to die anytime soon. And probably the biggest sentiment coming from this video is how well the competitive scene and the competitive side of the game does and works and operates. But the word potential, they said potential. The game does have crazy untapped potential. They're right, the game's not released in China. That could act like a second wind, bringing a ton of players, a ton of revenue to the game, a new team to add into the world stage, which would be crazy. Chinese the Chinese population of MOBA players in the world love competitive. They always show up in competitive events, world events, and different MOBAs. And the game does have a ton of potential. The game's not going to go anywhere for a minimum of a few, probably 2 to 3 more years. And it has tons of potential. It really, really does. And I love that that's kind of like the theme of this video, esports potential and just potential as a whole. Honestly, watching this is great. It's great press for the game, and it makes me feel excited. You know what I mean? I feel like it's hard to watch a video like this and not just feel excited about the game. Hopefully more people will find it and play it and enjoy it for what it is.
This video is made possible thanks to our wonderful patrons.
Nice.
Massive thank you to everyone on this list, and shout out to Jason B, Brendan QB, Foxy Mauve, Pachanas, Sierra, Shampoo, Spartacus, and Yashichi for being platinum supporters. And an extra special
True.
shout out to Steven, Jason G, and Marco
appreciate
for
their
being diamond
supporters. I dig
Awesome to
that.
see you all still with us. If you want to talk to us, check out our Discord,
Well done.
or if you want to support the channel and get info.
Well done. So yeah, my roundup thoughts is that, honestly, Pokemon Unite's issues are like solo ranked related. And like, other than that, the game is really good. They could do better with communication. Oh, God knows they could do much better with communication. But their patches have been kind of on point. Like, the game runs mostly well, minus they just got to get there. They got to get the bugs sorted out and maybe get a little bit of testing done on that side to make sure things like that don't happen as often. But the game does have crazy potential, and I wanted to share my thoughts on this video. So check out the link in the description, check out the pinned comment. You'll be able to find the link directly to this and go engage with it, check out the comments, whatever you want to do. Friends, that's my take on this game has insane esports potential. Again, great representation from Goof and Dupe Snacks. I really enjoyed watching that. And yeah, that's my thoughts. So drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel for future Pokemon Unite content. As always, be sure to be kind to one another. Tell someone you love them, and I'll see you in the next video.